Hello everybody and welcome back to Eddiez-Historyz-Politicz, or welcome to my channel. Today we're covering both a political and modern historical topic, so it encompasses our full name here today. And this topic is very, very present in modern media today, and that is the Clancy trial case. Now, Clancy is a woman who has murdered her 3 children with a band, an exercise band. And to any sane person, this would just seem evil, but it wouldn't be as live streamed across all of media today as it is. And I feel as though as I watch through this and see Clancy get support from women, it draws parallels to O.J. Simpson getting undying respect and love and support by the black community. And it's really, really interesting to me because history does in fact repeat itself. And it just proves that we're just cattle. All groups are just cattle that see a catalyst for their own ideals and make them the victim, even though they're the ones that have perpetrated crimes. Now, in the case for Clancy, she is a woman living in America. O.J. Simpson was a black man living in America. And they both had explanations and people justifying what they did. Women justify what Lindsay did with postpartum disorder, where the woman just can't stand her own children. People justified O.J. Simpson's actions with the fact that he was betrayed by his wife and her lover. It's really, really just disturbing to see this outward response from the communities, and it's only because it's been spread on social media, especially TikTok, at least for the Clancy case. In my time doom scrolling through TikTok, it's just a pull, like you come to understand that it's just a pull for idiocy and a lack of critical thinking, because the vast majority of people on TikToks doom scroll for several hours a day and they have no sense of personal identity. And it's truly, truly saddening, because when an ideal or something that comes up, like the Clancy case, they embody that, and then they embody the evil, but then they try to take it away. They try to take away the evil doings by viewing Clancy as nothing more as a victimized woman, which they view themselves as. So then they try and justify or try to defend, or all this stuff. It's really, really disappointing to see from society. And this is also seen in O.J. Simpson, with the black community really trying to justify his actions, saying that a black man could never be a criminal. He was a victim in this scenario. They're only criminalizing him because of his race. And these same ideas, these overlapping ideals, really make it so certain groups could never be real crime doers or real personifications of evil with mothers and black people. But when you take a step back and look at the facts, which most people didn't for O.J. Simpson, most people didn't for Clancy, it is really, really disheartening. Now, I have no connection to the US, so I don't see these protests from these women, or I never saw the OJ protests or the rallies. I never experienced all of these really remarkably insane experiences, and I feel as though the US, you see it all the time, not in many other countries, but it's always the US, which is something I find very interesting. The land of the free will defend their freedom, really, even if it means not imprisoning people who commit crimes. Now, if you really look into the motives of people, you will understand that we're all just sheep following a trend. And because it's so easy to follow the trend, it's so easy to view Lindsay Clancy as a victim. And it was so easy, however long ago, to view O.J. Simpson as a victim of the criminal justice system, because black people always have been and always will be a victim of it. But this lack of critical thinking diminishes personalized identity and makes people no smarter than cattle. They don't add any more value to society than a cattle would. And it just makes me feel as though we need a global reset. A start over from what we currently have. And what we currently have is just disappointing. It truly is. But let's take a step back from calling people out, calling people evil, and let's take a step at the facts of Lindsay Clancy, the main focus of this video. Now, Lindsay Clancy, charged with murdering her 3 children, 8, 2, and 8 months. Or it might have been one of them was 5 years old. I can't remember exactly. But they're all very young children, no older than toddlers, and some being less than a year old. The amount of time it takes to strangle a person to death with an exercise band would have been minutes per child. I'd say around 3 to 4 minutes for the older ones and maybe a minute or 2 for the younger one. Not once did she hesitate. Not once did she show any form of guilt or regret. She just did it. And the evidence is that she did this out of her own volition. It's not like she was a postpartum victim. No. She had planned her husband to go out for an extended period of time. Enough time for her to lure her kids down to the basement, lock the basement, and then strangle each one of them to death with an exercise band. That cannot just be blamed on hormones. That cannot just be blamed on a mental disorder. That is pure evil in the embodiment of it in a person. That truly makes you question why people are supporting her. But because it's so much easier to victimize her and make out her husband to be the villain. Because you see it a lot more with men committing more violent crimes. But something I've noticed is that, sure, men may be more likely to kill their wives, their girlfriends, their partners. Men will kill each other. But almost every single incident of children being murdered, it's by their own mothers. Unfortunately, there is no safe space for a child, not in their mother's womb, not even outside in the real world. They will be killed no matter what. And as a man, I will never have children, at least come out of me. I do intend to father children, but I could never experience what a woman has. But that doesn't mean I can't have a say in the evils that they do commit to their children. And of course, it's not all women. This is a very rare case, but in almost every single one of these rare cases, it's enacted by a woman. And they do it in horrific ways. There's other cases that are semi-circling around, nowhere near as much as Lindsay, but where the mother would slit the throats of children. This is just so awful, and you can't blame it on hormones, because men exhibit crazy hormones that push sexual drive, and that doesn't excuse rape. Of course it doesn't. There are tons of evil men in the world, but we don't excuse that. We actually use the legal system, sometimes even a death penalty. Whereas women on the internet, and somehow in person, will rally and protest against the so-called victim to save her, to think that she doesn't deserve jail time, that she just needs support, she needs to be sent to a mental institute where she can rehabilitate herself. No. I'd honestly argue for the death penalty against her, because no parent in their right mind, no parent who isn't embodied by evil, would kill their own children. And I'm just bewildered, truly, truly bewildered by social media, as it does disintegrate our brains. It does diminish our value as humans, because we no longer free think. We just follow the train of what the algorithm says. And it is so disappointing. And we are truly cattle. And I think we should be slaughtered. Like, think how great the world would become after every single person was removed. You look at Chernobyl. Chernobyl, the last 30 years, little to no human contact. And plant life is regrown, animal life is regrown, and this is a nuclear site. Animals have more capabilities to grow within a nuclear site than with humans around. Us humans embody evil, which is seen through O.J. Simpson, seen through Clancy, seen through so many others in different institutes, where we just do wrong. We commit evils. And it is heartbreaking. It really is. Because as someone who tries to keep a strong moral basis, it's nearly impossible when you just see others who don't. Others who just are evil. But I really do appreciate you guys for listening to this rant-style video. This is a lot different. I've decided to add some Counter-Strike gameplay because I've been getting back into Counter-Strike recently. And yeah, I don't really have anything else to talk about in this video, so if this video gets actually 50 views, you know what, we'll do a live stream of Clancy evidence debunking. And the next video that I will be uploading will in fact be a communist video, so stay tuned. Thank you.